The secret recipe for the world's best snack was born in 1930 when two candy makers from New York City named Forrest Mars Sr. and Bruce Murray came up with a plan to combine milk chocolate with peanuts. But this wasn't just any ordinary candy bar. Oh no, this was going to be something special, something that would make people say, wow, this tastes like heaven. And so it was named Snickers after Mars' favorite horse. But there was one problem. The name Snickers was already taken by another candy company, so they had to come up with a new name. And that's when someone had the brilliant idea of putting the letters M and N together to form the letter M, which stood for my. My what? My deliciousness, my wonderfulness, my chocolatey peanutiness. Well, not exactly. See, those weren't the words that were bouncing around the conference room. It was actually a combination of mysterious and marvelous. You know, like the mysterious and marvelous taste of our new candy bar. Get it? Got it? Good. And with that, M&M was born. In 1941, a little over a decade after its creation, M&M decided to do something crazy. They wanted to put their candy into a movie. Now you might be thinking, whoa, hold on. Why would a candy company want to get into the movie business? And to that I say, excellent question. But let me tell you, it was one of the most genius moves in candy history. You see, back then, movies were like the TikTok of the day. Everyone was going to see the latest blockbuster, especially kids. And if M&M could get their candy into those movies, they'd be able to get into the minds of America's youth and establish themselves as the cool, hip candy brand. But how do you get candy into a movie? Well, the answer was simple, really. All they had to do was strike up a deal with the movie studios and have them put M&Ms in the hands of the actors, allowing them to appear in the movie. And thus, the era of M&M movies began. Now, these weren't full-length features. Oh no, these were short films starring the M&M characters, which would play before the main feature. The first of these short films was called M&Ms in Hollywood, and it featured M&M characters like the ones we know today, but they looked a bit different. For one thing, the red M&M wore a cowboy hat, and the blue M&M wore a green one, but the biggest difference was that they didn't talk. Yes, the M&Ms were silent in their first appearance. Can you imagine? Over the next few years, M&M released several more short films, including M&Ms at the Zoo and M&Ms on the Farm. But it was in 1954 that things got really interesting. That year, M&M released a short film called M&M's Christmas Special. And for the first time, the M&M characters spoke. Well, they didn't exactly speak. They communicated through a combination of sign language and lip reading. But hey, it was close enough. In the Christmas special, the M&Ms were preparing for Santa's arrival, decorating the tree and hanging up stockings. Well, they didn't exactly speak. They communicated through a combination of sign language and lip reading. But hey, it was close enough. In the Christmas special, the M&Ms were preparing for Santa's arrival, decorating the tree and hanging up stockings. But of course, everything went wrong. The tree fell over, the stockings ripped, and Santa almost didn't make it. But in the end, everything was resolved and the M&Ms learned an important lesson about the true meaning of Christmas. Or maybe it was just about eating lots of candy. We're not sure. In the late 1950s, M&Ms started to appear in TV commercials. And in the early 1960s, they made their first appearance on the big screen, sharing top billing with none other than Walt Disney himself in Babes in Toyland. Throughout the 1960s and 70s, the M&M characters continued to make regular appearances in TV commercials, on variety shows, and even in feature films. In fact, in 1974, M&Ms were featured in the classic blaxploitation film Superfly. Yeah, we were surprised too. Who knew M&Ms were so versatile? But as the decades passed, the M&M characters began to fade from public consciousness. In the early 1980s, M&Ms stopped making commercials with the characters altogether, and by the late 1980s, they had all but disappeared from the public eye. But the M&M characters were about to make a comeback in a big way. In 1995, M&Ms released a commercial featuring the characters for the first time in 10 years, and it was unlike any M&M commercial that had ever been made before. It was funny. Not just funny, laugh-out-loud funny. The commercial featured the M&M characters in a mockumentary-style format, with each M&M being interviewed separately about the recent death of the yellow M&M. It was dark, it was witty, and it was brilliant. The commercial became an instant hit and is widely credited with reviving the M&M brand. In the years since the yellow M&M's death, the M&M characters have gone on to star in countless commercials, to appear in movies like Forrest Gump, and even to have their own TV special in the 2000s. Today, the M&M characters are as popular as ever, with millions of fans around the world. But do you know what's even more popular than the M&M characters? You guessed it, Reese's Pieces. Just kidding, but you can't deny that Reese's Pieces are pretty great. And speaking of great, we're great. You're great. Everyone's great. Well, except for that guy over there. Who's he? What's he doing here? He doesn't belong. Get him out of here. Wait, where are you going? You haven't heard the story of Reese's Pieces yet. Come back. Please don't leave. We've got stories of Wonder Woman, Michael Jordan, and Batman. Plus, did you know that Adolf Hitler had a twin brother? No, you don't. Watch this video and find out. Please don't leave. Stay. Be excellent to each other.